First, we're going to go with Elizabeth Tanner. Elizabeth. So Elizabeth. So you want to take the picture first, and then
Yes,
I'll
ma'am. We'll do it
swear
that way.
in. Okay.
We can do it quickly. Okay, here we go. Ready? Looking at me. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much.
All right. So we're about to swear in Elizabeth Tanner. See, Elizabeth is going to be serving on the Commission on Aging and Retirement Education. Would you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, your name,
Elizabeth Tanner,
do swear
do swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be
and that I will be
faithful
faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
to
to the best of my skill and judgment,
the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of
execute the office of
Commissioner
Commissioner
for Aging and
for
Retirement
Aging and Retirement
Education,
Education,
according to the Constitution of Maryland
according to the Constitution of Maryland
and laws thereof
and laws thereof,
of Baltimore City.
of Baltimore City.
Okay? So I will hand you your pen,
Okay?
and I'll ask you to sign the book.
Okay.
Okay, and he's going to thank you again for serving. Okay?
Who's next?
And next, I'm going to swear in the Baltimore City Fire Policy Employees Retirement System. That will be Roy Hudson and Paul Decimo. So you all will say your name, okay? So, I do swear that I will support. I'm sorry, we'll start this again. Raise your right hand, please. I do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland and support the Constitution and laws thereof, and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of trustee of the Baltimore City Fire and Police Employees Retirement System, according to the Constitution of Maryland and laws of Baltimore City. You're duly sworn in. I'm going to come over here and take a picture. Stand between the two of you. All come.
Right next to the mirror, please. Big smiles at me, looking right at me. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. One more. Thank you very much.
I don't know if y'all can do it, but we'll do that.
We'll try. Give it a shot.
Thank you. Thank you. I need y'all to sign the book over there. Next, I'm going to swear in the Board of Licensing for Towing Services of Baltimore City, Sam Polikoff. Hi, Sam. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, 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 good. Sam, will you raise your right hand and repeat after me? Let me make sure I got the right one. Okay. I,
Samuel Polikoff,
do swear
do swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful
be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill
and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of
member
Member of the Board of Licenses
member of the Board of Licenses
for towing services
for towing services
for Baltimore City,
for Baltimore City,
according to the Constitution of Maryland
according to the Constitution of Maryland
and the laws of Baltimore City.
and the laws of Baltimore City.
Thank you. Thank you again. Always so.
Okay, here we go. Looking at me, please. 3, 2, 1. One more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sign the book.
And next, I will do the Commission for Historical and Architectural Preservation. And this is Monica Rhodes.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, you'll say your name,
Monica Rhodes,
do swear
do swear
that I will support
that I will support
the
the
Constitution
Constitution
of the United
of
States,
the United States,
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful
be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of
to
Maryland,
the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of
execute the office of
Commissioner for Historical
Commission for Historical
and Architectural
and
Preservation,
Architectural Preservation,
according to the Constitution of Maryland
according to the Constitution of Maryland
and the laws of Baltimore City.
and the laws of Baltimore City.
So good to have a young person on. Thank you. Thank you for saying.
Right this way, please. Big smile. Ready? 3, 2, 1. One more. Thank you very much.
Now, will you sign our book over there?
Sure.
And last, of course, but not least, and as important as all the others, can I have the Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners come forward? I'm going to stand in the middle of you all and take this picture first.
Okay, everyone, look at me, please. Oh, you're good. Big smiles. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Good. One more. Thank you very much.
All right, you all raise your right hands. And you'll say your names when I point. Y'all ready? Everybody got their right hand up? Okay. I do swear
Do swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of
the Constitution of
the United States,
the United States,
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful
be faithful
and bear true
and
allegiance
bear true allegiance
to the state of
to
Maryland,
the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws
and
thereof,
laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill
To the
best of my skill
and judgment,
and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of
execute the office of
Commissioner
Commissioner
of the Baltimore City Public School System,
of the Baltimore City Public School System,
according to the Constitution of Maryland
according to the Constitution of Maryland
and the laws of Baltimore City.
and the laws of Baltimore City.
Can I say thank you again, because you all are
Can I say
reappointed?
thank you again?
Absolutely. Thank you. Will you all sign the book? Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you. Let me just say finally, as the Board of City School Commissioners sign the book, these are very important positions. These folks give freely of their time and their talent, but they're an integral part of the city. They make great decisions on behalf of all of the citizens of our city. And to our school board, I want you to know how important you all are in terms of the future of our young people. We will be going back to Annapolis this year for additional dollars. We need capital dollars for our school system. We added an additional $2 million to the $17 million that the city dedicates. But as you saw, that has been reported, we're about $3 billion behind. That's just the maintenance. And I just want to remind the public that in 1997, when the school system was separated from the city, because there was a time when the city had control of the school system, and we maintained the buildings, and we no longer have that control, because in order to get the $500 million that was needed at that time under Mayor Kurt Schmoke, he had to turn over control of the school system to the state. Unlike other jurisdictions, the money flows from the state directly to that jurisdiction that disseminates it to the school system. Our $1 billion goes directly to the school system. The city adds another $400 million to the school system's budget. That's just on the operation side. That's not the $19 million now that we have for capital improvement. And these buildings are as old, some as old as 50 years. We have the oldest school stock in the state. And while we brought back $1 billion to build new schools in Baltimore, that will only build 28 new schools. But that's 28 new schools more than the entire state of Maryland. So I'm saying to you all, you have a great responsibility. And I say this to the public because I think it is important that they understand that your operating budget at the school system for 80,000 children is $1.3 billion, whereas the operation of the city's budget for the entire 600,000 plus population is $2.8 billion, just to put that in perspective, with 300 to 400 million going to the school system. We all have to work together on this issue, and that's why I'm so grateful to the advocates who understand the importance of us fighting for what we need in Annapolis. Our prayer is that the Kerwin Commission understands the needs of our children. The formula doesn't bode well for Baltimore City, at least it didn't the last go round, because we have, believe it or not, while we have many poor people in our city, wealth is also growing in our city. So we've got to make sure that that is balanced in such a way that our children in some of our poorer parts of the city benefit as well. And so again, we will need your support as we go to Annapolis and fight on behalf of all of our children and parents and teachers and principals and administrators, because our children deserve the very best. And so while we cut the ribbon on about 9 schools over the last few years, 5 during this week, you know, beautiful, beautiful schools, but it's not enough. And so again, thank you all for your service, and I say to all of you all who are sworn in this evening, I know that you take your positions very seriously because they make a difference in terms of how we continue to move our city forward. So we will continue to work together on behalf of all of the citizens of Baltimore. So I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your service.
Thank you.